We've been talking a lot about the recent bans inside of Diablo Immortal. Players have been getting banned from the game for a year at this point in time for small reasons, big reasons, or really not knowing what the reasons are at all. I have a few guests here with me today where we're just going to be talking about this topic. Right over here, we have Dios. He is the leader of the Ban the Ban Discord server. This is a place where players that have been banned can come, discuss, figure out how they want to tackle the issues that they have. And we have Sam right next to me here. He is the most recent ban that we saw kind of blow up over on Reddit. I put a video out in the channel. The reason why his ban was such a big deal was he was a big spender inside of the game. At this point in time, we believe that he has the largest cash invested account that's been banned, the highest res. He's spent about 40,000 approximately, give or take, inside of the game, and as of right now, his account has been banned and no money has been refunded because that doesn't come from those bans. That's an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. I'm excited about this one because of both of the guests that we have and being able to kind of get some real life experience from both sides. And I want to start out, I guess, with Dios. Why don't we start with you? I know that you have your server. You reached out to me a month or so ago, and I kind of met a lot of people inside of there. I'll be linking the server down below, but why don't you give just a little overview for everyone as to what issues you're seeing come through your server with, 100 or so or 200 people that are coming to your server. What kind of issues are you seeing, and where are you guys kind of at right now? Then we'll jump over and we'll talk about the other stuff.
Oh, of course. And I just want to say I really appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with us. It's definitely something that is pretty important to what's going on in the current state of the game, and it definitely should be addressed. That being said, my personal experience, I have not been banned. I still
Okay.
have my account in the game. I am not naive. I do understand that there are legitimate reasons for some people being banned. I'm going to start there. I get it. However, the reality is that these bans, as of late, which I think we can all agree with, are seem to be happening more and more. And we've, as a community, noticed that these bans were not happening with just people that were, as you can call it, trolling or being inappropriate in world chat, for example, or spooning, auto farming, whatever the case is. But these are from people who were legitimately playing the game, grinding hours a day, that had spent quite a significant amount of money, just like somebody like Sam, who spent quite a decent amount of money. And there was no explanation as to why these bans happen. And I think that's probably the biggest problem is the lack of communication and the lack of information conveyed, which, of course, there's only so much information they can provide. I can't imagine the amount of work it must take to provide a platform like this. So I understand Blizzard has so much going on, and I do give them a lot of credit for providing this platform in the way that they have. It's a great platform. I love it. That with that, it's also some things that might have been overlooked. We have no idea how these bans are implemented. We don't know if they're always all done automatically, if there's somebody who is looking at the server for pattern behavior, whatever the case is. I created this Discord last month because I noticed that good friends of mine that I've known for the better part of 2 years now on through this game, and we've spoken plenty of times. People that I confidently feel are not abusing the game or cheating, that have lost their account without any recourse, no resolution, and no way to find out information. So the goal of this server is, I don't know if we can make anything happen, but you know something? I know that if we do nothing, nothing will happen. And it's not fair to these people that they have nowhere to go, no one to talk to, and no possible way to make something happen. And hopefully down the road, maybe there could be some sort of conversation with the not just the developers, obviously, but the people that are in charge of this particular department of running the platform. Maybe something will happen if we get enough people. But in general, I felt that there needed to be something done with how prominent these bands have become as of late. I mean, Echo, do you agree with me that, at least, I don't know about your server, I'm on the Town Portal server. Have you noticed any of people that you've played with, have done runs with over the past 2 years or so? that you don't see anymore that maybe you would question whether or not that they should have actually gotten their account banned?
That's a good question. So I see a lot of people in game, mostly because I make a lot of friends, and they'll say, "Are you Echo from YouTube?" So uh, people come and go all the time. So I'm not really sure in that sense. The people that I know that have been banned and stuff are people that I'm meeting through things like your community. So if I'm speaking more in my world, I'm talking about my warband and my clan. And to be honest, my clan has some in and out itself. So I don't have any personal friends that were banned for things like that. But I'm sure that people that I've played with have been. I can't say for sure because I don't know for sure. No one that I'm friends with has hit me up on Discord and said, I've been banned. Because a lot of people come to me and they'll say, I've been banned. Can you help me get my account? I feel like a lot of people believe that because I'm a Diablo partner and I'm on YouTube, that I really have a direct connection to fixing problems. What I do have a direct connection to is the developers and the community manager over there that works with content creators that are part of the program. I have reached out to them and asked them questions. And I think the biggest part of what you're talking about right now, that the issue is the response after the ban. Because I've seen some of these come through. I saw some stuff on Reddit, people showing the emails that they get. And you're mentioning someone gets banned and there's no reason why. It says that they breached some type of rule that was code of conduct related. And as you mentioned, if someone's in world chat being abusive and just disgusting, that may be a good reason for someone to be banned. But if you're auto farming, which I still am not clear 100%, and I have inquired about this and I'm waiting for my answers, but I don't know if that's a bannable offense. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, yes, I think people are getting banned for that. But after I put out a video discussing that, tons of people have reached out to me and told me that they've been playing and doing that forever and they've never been banned. Does that mean that they won't be eventually? I don't know. I really don't have the answers to that. But so to answer your questions, and before I kind of kick it over to Sam, I don't have any personal friends that are like actually people that I play with all the time that have been banned. I'm sure people that I have played with in the past have been. Um, I do reach out to Blizzard, but I can't save everyone's life and all the problems, but I can bring exposure to the issues. I love that you started the Discord server, not because I want this whole revolution to happen, but because I think it's good for people to be able to go to compare experiences, to talk about it and say, how can we, bring amends to this and maybe make the process a little bit better so that people aren't getting screwed out of their accounts. Which brings me right over to Sam, because he being not the latest ban, but the latest big band that has a lot of attention to it. Sam, I'm going to ask you in a moment for your experience, how you played the game, what kind of a player you were, etc. But in the bans and what I saw in some of the documentation, if you're banned, your account, you can't play. So if you invested any type of money into that account, it's not like Blizzard then sends you a refund. Apparently in all of the fine print when we start playing the game, we click that button in the beginning when you start playing any mobile game, and it's essentially a terms and conditions, and we agree. No one reads them. We agree so we could play the game. Apparently, that's the legal form that sets all the rules for us. But part of that is there's not going to be a refund for your money if you happen to break some of those rules, I guess, or get accused for breaking some of those rules because of potentially a flawed system or a system that may have gaps that people could fall through. So with that, Sam, I want to thank you for coming to the channel. I saw you put your post over on Reddit and kind of spoke about your experience. From your post, like, I don't know you very well, but from what you said in that post, you seem to have come across like a nice, honest person. You're a military guy, so you have some good values, and what you spoke of kind of resonated, not only because of the money reason, but because you came forward and shared your experience. So what I want you to do here today is kind of share your experience in words. I know that you've been talking to people in the band server and others, but I'd like for the community to hear your experience, how you played the game, if you have any idea why you may have been banned, and just your thoughts overall. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you so you can kind of chat about that a little bit.
So, from my perspective, I would like to thank you, Echo, for bringing me on, Dios, for having this meeting with me today. I am Sam Keel. I'm the largest band resonance so far to date. How I played the game, I've been playing since the beginning. I've stayed on one static tune, Demon Hunter, the whole entire time. Um, as far as I've known, I have been a staple for my server, which is Arcane's Valor. People come to me for anything, and I try to support them in the best way that I can. And if I couldn't solve a problem, there was plenty of whales that were sitting to my left or my right limits that would assist me. Mainly JT, Adasil, and Asmund. Those were my three go-tos if I ever had anything that I needed for support. But most of the time it was just running raids or carrying people through challenge rifts and just making friends along the way. Um, like I said, I played since the beginning. I I don't I don't really know. I've only supported my whole entire server, and I tried to make that the point of my playing the game.
You know, and
Um,
I'll hop in real quick because I wanna back you up there. Since doing my video and being in the servers, I've had a bunch of people reach out to me on Discord, kind of vouching for who you are as a person and your character, all with positive things. So you know, I'm sure that they all appreciate you, and we appreciate the game having someone in there that you know, looks out for other players. But apparently, Blizzard thinks you did something wrong. So tell us what that. First of all, how did it feel? Because 2 years time investment, the financial investment, it can't feel good. And what came through? What did the emails look like, and what were your steps after that? I guess.
so when I tried logging in and that your account has been banned, my heart dropped. It's not the monetary value. Yes, that sucks. The not being able to play, yes, that sucks. But the friendships that I had inside of the game, where I've confided in people, some of my personal life or some of the frustrations I've seen in the game, like my heart just dropped. And so, and that's the part that bothered me the most was when I started when I sent the help desk ticket to Blizzard. All they send back is the terms of service and say, "Hey, your account's banned." So then you try to deep dive in and ask more questions, which means submitting another ticket inside of the ticket that you're currently in. And then at one point, I got a game master to say that they were looking into it, but then they closed the ticket. And all that's said in that game master's email is refer to the terms of service and refer to your emails, and we'll contact you in a couple days. Well, that's been over a week now, and I have yet to be contacted by Blizzard or anybody else from Blizz saying, "Hey, this is what we found." Because when I submitted my help desk ticket, it wasn't a hey, like you banned me. It was a hey, why did you ban me? And there was nothing, nothing given as to why I'm banned. And if you've heard from enough people from my server, I assume, and you could answer that better than I can. But I don't cheat. I had nothing to cheat with. But I did have glitches that popped up a couple days prior to on the game or on my phone. And then 2 days after that, I'm poof, you see your account banned. And again, my heart dropped when I saw that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's got to feel horrible. Some of the and before we jump back to you, maybe Dios will want to hop in again with some of the things that he's heard. But a lot of people that I see complain about that they got banned for their controller. People complain that they got banned about using some type of a mirroring service so that it could play on their television. For my thoughts and just what comes to my head is a lot of times when I think of not Diablo specifically, but other games, you could put them onto like a BlueStacks or some type of a system like that, and then you could run different mods that'll like allow you to do different things that the game won't let you do naturally. I don't know if this is a thing for Diablo Immortal or not, but other games have that. So if ever hooking up to like BlueStacks, for example, when I played Clash of Clans back in the day, you were not allowed to play Clash of Clans on BlueStacks. It would give an unfair advantage according to the terms of service of Supercell, and your accounts could be banned if you use some type of a mirroring service like that. So I'm just bringing that up because I've heard people complain for that reason. Obviously, people have complained because they went off in global chat. But is there anything else, Dios, that you've heard that you want to just throw out in the light while we're on this topic that people have said I've been banned and it may have been because of this or whatnot?
Sure. One thing that I've heard is people are making comments about being mass reported
Mm.
by people, whether it was in an open world farm situation, or yes, they would also say something about the remote controls or using a third party software program. Truthfully, the fact is, nobody actually knows, to be honest. Nobody knows specifically. To Sam's point, the information that he got was pretty general and vague. The most specific information in my personal experience that I have seen being given to anybody who had an account ban was, in addition to the terms of service being attached, was from a game master saying that they had violated this part in the terms of service, which is usually something about either a third party software program. That's it. And they would just say that essentially, we've looked into this. We've answered your question. We appreciate the concern, but we've validated the validity of this. That was a little redundant, but you get the point. And we've just decided that we're not going to address this anymore, and there's no reason to discuss this. And again, I can't imagine how much Blizzard has to do on a daily basis, but somebody, every anyone from someone like a player like me, I'm 2500 res, to a free to play player, I'm probably a lower spender, to somebody like Sam, who, is a pretty substantial spender in the game. It doesn't matter what you've contributed to the game, but everyone deserves at least a few minutes of an explanation. The fact is that one other thing that I've gotten from people is people are starting to get worried about playing the game. People are just afraid of logging in and just playing. We had talked about this the other day, Echo, about them adding the follow feature that is actually now a part of the game. You can click on your party member and follow them. And now people are wondering, well, if I use what was implemented in the game, am I going to lose my account? And that's another part that is a concern. People just refusing to play because they don't want to lose it. And I get worried about that because I still play and I want to continue to play. I want people to continue to play. And there's no reason for a game like this, of this popularity, to have these issues. I'm sure that there's a way around this. We just have to work together collectively to find out what that way is.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and I see it in a different way with what the actual issue is. If you have players that are scared to play or getting banned and the fear is in the air, I could see this actually hurting Blizzard. First of all, obviously, because people may say, I'm not even messing with this game and move on, right? But people that are inclined to spend, if that fear is there, they may be a lot less inclined to spend inside of the game, which is essentially going to hurt the bottom line of Blizzard. Because for me, if I'm sitting here and if I'm spending $1,000 a month inside of the game, which sounds insane, but it's really not for this game. I don't do that, but if I were, and then I started getting worried, maybe I'd back off a little bit. As God forbid I do get banned, I don't want my investment to be gone. Like, I don't want it to just be completely gone. I have heard of people like trying to do chargebacks and stuff to get some of their money out of the game if that stuff happens. Have you heard anything about that?
I have, and there's two issues with it. If the goal is that you want to continue playing the game, you should avoid doing this, because if you do charge back, most people that I've heard of have gotten their money back, but their accounts were completely banned indefinitely, so there was no way of them coming back. Now, the other issue that comes to light, when you're talking about the terms of service, the platform of Diablo Immortal is about the rights to the license. We don't own this game. Even if we buy a tangible disc, for example, we don't own this game. What we are doing is we are agreeing to use the platform and for them to own the license. It's almost like we are working for an at-will company, basically. And we all work for Blizzard in this place called Diablo Immortal. And because we've signed this agreement, whether it's an arbitration agreement and the at-will company agreement, they can let us go at any time for any reason without any explanation. And that becomes one of the biggest challenges in this particular instance, because they can say, based on what they've given in those terms of services, you know, yeah, we're just going to ban your account. You know, it's for no reason. It's almost like getting pulled over by a cop and getting a $500 ticket, and you say, "Well, what am I getting this ticket for?" You know, you did something wrong, and they leave. If that makes any sense.
No, that does make sense, and I think that that is the biggest issue. And as we said, we don't know. We don't know what kind of a team they have in place to do this. We don't know how big of a job it is. And I see it as this: you get 100 people banned. 90% of those people are going to say they did nothing wrong, whether they did or didn't. Maybe they didn't. And if everyone that gets banned fights it, it expands this team that they need, or at least the workload. So maybe if there's a 3-person team, it could take them months to get to your stuff if you're having thousands of people where you need to look into it. And so it could become a daunting job. Now, Sam mentioned that the game has bugs in it. Every game has bugs. Every game has something wrong with it, right? So his philosophy, and we're going to get back to you in a second, Sam, was, if there's bugs in the game itself, are there bugs in the system that are banning people for reasons that aren't valid? And I'm not under the impression that there isn't. I think that everything has some room for error, right? But I think that we need to, or I would love to see if there were a way to dive deeper into that. And it's not easy. Blizzard is looking at it from a financial standpoint. How much money can we invest in staff to look into these people's issues? And how much are these people's issues hurting the bottom line of our game? I mean, when you think about it, it's a business. Any video game is a business to make money. And I didn't say this in the beginning. I want to now. I know no one from the financial or legal departments of this game. Everyone that I know, they're game developers, they're community managers. Like, they have they love the game. The developers love what they create. They don't make the decisions on if something's pay to win or not. They are there to build a game. And then you have the other team that makes all of those financial decisions and these legal decisions. Those people I don't know. They're not the people that you meet at events. They're the ones that are behind office doors doing, business related things. May have gone off on a little tangent there, but I do want to get back to Sam, because you shared with us your experience, what happened to you, Sam. But there's probably other things that you may want to mention as well. So I want to give you a little bit of freedom here to talk about, anything else regarding this whole experience that you have. So I'm going to just hand the mic over to you for any topics that you may want to discuss.
So the only other thing is I'm just going to caveat off of what you had said previously, that people are scared to play or scared to spend, or however you want to look at it. But I have been reached out by numerous people now via Discord or other servers or other platforms saying, hey, like, what happened? And that sounds like something that happens with me, then I lose everything as well. So they have ceased in spending. And other games that I have played, there's moderators that would assist in guiding people along the path to getting something resolved. And Blizz doesn't have that. They have game masters that aren't on every server, whereas other video games, like I played like Tibia or World of Warcraft, there was moderators that you could address stuff with, and then they could resolve it.
That makes sense.
Or at least have a middleman to meet with Liz in regards to. We, as Diablo Immortal players, have to reach out to our YouTube counterparts, i.e. the you, Echo, or players like that have a voice with Blizzard to guide the censored, I would say.
No, I agree. I mean, and the best thing that I think I could do is bring light to what's going on. So I know, I know that it's heard. I know that it's heard by people who watch in the community. I know that it's heard by Blizzard. So I think that most of us that are part of this program, that's what we're able to do. Shed light on the disappointment and the concern of a lot of the community. So that's what. Listen, I wish I had a contact that I could say, look, these are some accounts that you need to look into because they were I don't want to say unrightfully banned because I don't know, but because they're believed to be unrightfully banned or something. It's just really tough, especially being in my position as well. Like I don't work for Blizzard, but I like to keep a good relationship with Blizzard. Like I play their games, I love to go out to their events and stuff like that. But they clearly do things that aren't perfect, that need to be, checked and balanced a little bit, I guess. And that's the point of this. The point of this podcast is, or this meeting, is not to attack anyone, not to attack players that are being banned. I don't want players that are being banned to be told, oh, you're just a cheater and you're lying about it. Like, that's not the point. And the point's also not to say everyone at Blizzard is awful and they're just here to steal your money, because that's not the case either. Um, so just kind of, I guess, throwing that out there. But Sam, I'm gonna kick it back to you. I feel like maybe there was other things you want to discuss, but maybe not.
So the final thing is we all know that there are glitches inside of Diablo Immortal. There's numerous Reddit complaints about it, and I'm not here to bash Blizz either because I've been playing their games since 2006. Regardless of what game it was, starting from World of Warcraft, the old Diablo 2, the Lord of Destruction, I've been playing their game. I have been a loyal customer to them since 2006. So I'm not here to bash them as well. What I am here is to try and the guide the players, the Diablo Immortal community, to a just answer from Blizz. And I believe Dios is trying to do the same thing. All we want is a answer, or why they had to go with a permaban instead of a temp ban, just to give people a warning. So that's the things I'm trying to achieve.
That's a great question you bring up as well. A permaban is serious. Like it's a permaban is forever. And I don't think it should be a warning tactic because there is no warning. I mean, even if you're an absolutely free to player, you play a game for a year, the time you invested, do you really want to have to start over again, So permaban is a big deal. I think that a lot was brought to light here. I think some of the biggest things that we've learned are, or that we want to share, is that there is a place for people to go and have these discussions. Because I could imagine when you log in and you get that you've been banned message, it feels awful, and you feel like you have nowhere to go with it, right? No one to really talk to about it, and no place to go. Now there's a place to go with Ban to Ban. And Sam, I'm glad that you came on and were able to talk a little bit about your experience. And I have heard it's been said to me, have you ever heard of a whale getting banned? And prior to your story, there were no stories of whales getting banned. People were under the impression that Blizzard wouldn't ban the people that were spending money inside of their game. Clearly now at this point, that's not the case because that has happened. So I feel like there was an artificial comfort in being a big spender inside of the game. If you spent thousands of dollars, you kind of felt like your account was safe because Blizzard values you as a customer. You're going to come, play their game, enjoy it, and spend money inside of it. Where a free-to-play player, it gives them their great numbers and it's great to have community inside of the game, but they're not as valued of a customer because they're not making money from that customer or as much. Not saying, and I want to put this out there, I'm not saying that free-to-play players aren't valued. I myself am very close to a free-to-play player. I spend $15 a month inside of the game. Blizzard is not making their bag on my account. So I'm very much down with those players versus being in your shoes. I mean, I just upgraded my Blood-Soaked Jade to rank 5 today. And I've been playing this game since day one. Now, obviously, I've messed up gem stuff, but so that shows. Like, I'm not spending a ton, and I value people that are whales or free to play. I'm part of communities of both of these people. I think that there's great people that benefit the game no matter what their spend is inside of the game as well, both as players, both as community members, and people that are just making servers better. So, with that said, I'm going to go to each of you for any last words. We'll start over with you, Dios. Any last things that you want to say or bring to light before we close out the episode?
Ultimately, I think the most important thing for me is getting everybody to come together, not just on my server, in the game itself. I feel for these people. I really do. The conversations that we have in Discord, I can tell how upset they are. It's funny because this is a game when it comes down to it. This is a game. In real life, how much does this really matter? But you know what? For us, people like us, we get it. A lot of people don't get it, but this is a bit more than just a game. People might go out and get drunk or go out hang out with friends. Our friends are in this game. I've known people in this game longer than some people I've known in real life. And when that's taken away for whether it's no reason or an unknown reason, that's very hard to swallow. Being left in a place where there's no resolve, just wondering what if. And that's not okay. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. Hearing all of these stories, it didn't sit right with me. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I have no idea if this is going to do anything. I understand that this is a long shot, but something, I'm not going to sit down and do nothing. I'm at least going to try, and hopefully we can work together. And if the community really does come together, who knows? Maybe if one account gets unbanned, that's all the hope that we need, that anything else can turn around. And as long as we just continue on this path together, only looking for what we are all want is to continue playing this game in the way that we have been since we started.
And just to add on that, just a little bit before I go to you, Sam, not even to get one account unbanned, because it would be great if they could go through, fine tooth comb every single account and say, oh, this was unrightfully banned. Here's the account back. I would personally like to see, as someone that hasn't gotten any of these emails but has seen a lot of it, I'd like to see a way for people to get better answers. Which, again, as I mentioned before, I know it's difficult, and it's not like, oh, Blizzard could say, yes, this is what we need to do. I know it would be a whole thing that needs to go together for them. But being able to get an answer, even if you made a mistake and used something inside of the game, not even like if you hooked up the wrong controller that is a ban-worthy controller, at least you would know. That's probably a bad example, but just a clearer way for people to find out really why. Because as you mentioned, you have to be a gamer and an invested gamer to understand the value of the communities that we build here. And as like you said, to have that community just ripped out and no longer available to you, that's got to hurt. Especially when you're choosing to sit in on Friday nights and Saturday nights and play games with your friends versus going out with friends and actually playing in real life. So lots of value there. It's not only about money that's being lost when accounts are banned, but also about your time, investment, and the friendships. With that, Sam, I'm going to head over to you for your last few things that you may want to say, bud.
So, Dios, this is directed directly at you. I know that sounds like a double wording there as well. Your server has done something. It has brought hundreds of people together already. It is doing something to make an impact on the community, the Diablo Immortal community. So you already have that going for you. Echo it with you. I would like to thank you for taking the time to have this meeting. I know we're all using a Sunday or a day to make this, but what I would like to see come from all this is a moderator or somebody that can address stuff for a server or for multiple servers, because we know when they combine servers, there's multiple servers there. But those little nodes of servers, if we could get moderators that could manage those, people that would divest their time, their own personal time as a volunteer to do that. I know numerous people on my server. I would have been one of them that would have gladly accepted that moderator role. So if Blizzard could come to an agreement with that, or maybe we could move away from the permaban and do how most other games where you get a warning, then you get a temp ban of 7, 10. In my case with Diablo Immortal, you want to make it so that they don't do it again. It would be 30 days because that affects them. A 7-day ban doesn't really affect. You can get back to where you were at instantly. And then go to a permanent ban. Like give steps instead of just instant buy.
That's
But
actually
that's
that's a great point right there. If I know that if I logged in and I were given a warning, even with no days banned, it's kind of an eye opener. Like, what did I do wrong? And I want to make sure I don't do that wrong again. So that right there alone is a great suggestion that hopefully we can implement. All right, back to you.
no. That was that was my last spiel. That is the end of what I have to say. Unless there are questions that you want to direct specifically at me, Echo. I'm here for further review.
I appreciate that, man. I don't have any questions. I think that we really did a good blanket coverage of this whole topic. I'm going to be very curious to what comments look like. A video like this, bringing you guys in, I would anticipate there's going to be a lot of people with things to say. So maybe we'll go through those comments and maybe even in the future, come back together to address some of the questions that do come in from the community. I want to urge everyone to visit Dios's Discord server. It's linked down below in the description. It really is a great place for people to go and to talk about what's going on. It is not a place for people to go and just rage and go crazy screaming because they're angry. Because again, these are not the people that are doing the things wrong. It's they're not the issue. This is just a place for everyone to come together. So there you go. That's going to be linked down below. Dios, thank you so much for coming through, spending some of your time. I know you got family that's probably ready to get you back going on with the house, so we'll end it. And Sam, thank you for coming on. It takes a lot to expose yourself to the community as someone who was banned, whether it was rightfully or wrongfully banned. You came on, you spoke about it, you shared your experience, and I think it brought a lot of people together. So hopefully all of this sheds some light. Hopefully Blizzard takes a watch and maybe gets some ideas. I love the idea, Sam, about an incremental ban type system, where if you keep doing things wrong, it'll eventually work out to a permaban. It's a great idea. And on top of that, having some type of a moderator in there to kind of oversee what goes on, I like that as well. Really some solid ideas thrown out there. And whenever there's a problem, I love the idea of throwing out some solutions for the problems. And honestly, you did that here today. So hopefully some of it's heard and we start to see some changes. But guys, thank you so much for coming through. As I mentioned, I'll be in the comments looking for questions that we could potentially bring to another video in the future. But thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed being on the YouTube.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Same for me. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.